Joining me now, Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt and Florida Congressman Byron Donald. Senator Schmitt, let's start with you. What we're learning tonight, and this is from Senator Chris Murphy, who was one of the architects of this border bill, is that indeed this was primarily written, according to him, by Mitch McConnell. This is NBC News saying that Chris Murphy was shocked that McConnell was not able to get more Republicans to coalesce around the bill. He didn't just bless the deal, he wrote the deal, Murphy said, the lead Democrat in the negotiations, and saying it's really worrying that a deal that was written and endorsed by the minority leader gets 4 votes from his caucus. Senator, is it time for a leadership change?
Well, this clearly showed that there's a changing dynamic in the Senate, which is a positive thing, which is individual members weighed in. They read the bill. They couldn't jam us. They didn't just give us, well, they did just give us 2 or 3 days, but we were sift through it and saw it was a terrible bill. The American people know Joe Biden has every authority right now to close the border. He won't do it. These language changes weren't going to matter. And they made it worse. They created an express lane for illegal immigration. You were having these asylum outside of the judicial system, these asylum agents approving citizenship on the spot, removing Texas from having
jurisdiction. But millions of people could still come into the country. The whole point is we don't want millions of people coming into the country.
Right. And so what happened is the people spoke, and the senators stood up on behalf of the American people and our sovereignty and defeated this terrible bill. So it's a big win.
Here was one of the Democrat senators pushing today for the funding of Ukraine, which was originally going to be part of this. Watch.
If we take ourselves out of foreign policy, if we take ourselves out of supporting Ukraine, if we take ourselves out of the humanitarian objectives that we have, not just in Gaza, but in Sudan and elsewhere, then we will no longer be the global leader. And let's be clear, that's because Donald Trump doesn't want the United States of America to be the global leader.
Yeah, the Hawaiian sun has baked his brain, Congressman. Joe Biden has made us weaker on the world stage. Certainly it wasn't under Donald Trump.
No, you're absolutely correct. Listen, we've lost 4 embassies under Joe Biden. The Middle East is on fire because of Joe Biden. We lost 13 men and women in Kabul in Afghanistan more than 2 years ago because of Joe Biden. His weakness is a stench throughout our entire country, and it's being seen on the world stage. We are not respected. We are not the leader around the globe
but does
anymore.
that have anything, Congressman,
we have a president that doesn't take this seriously?
But they want to link, which I think is so, again, it's as stupid as the border bill was. They want to link our superpower status with squandering tens of millions of dollars more in what is obviously a failing war effort. We did it in Iraq. We did it in Afghanistan. We were actually fighting those. This is a proxy war. But is that going to restore America's standing in the world? Last time I checked, Europe could be funding this entire adventure in Ukraine.
No, it's simply not. What's going to restore our standing is the Trump sanctions on Iran, putting them back in the box. What restores our standing is not watching Houthis in Yemen blow up and target shipping vessels when we have a responsibility to help maintain global security with respect to shipping and commerce. That restores our standing. And most of all, securing our own nation restores our standing because it demonstrates to the drug cartels and everybody else that America is going to take its problem seriously, and we will help our friends around the globe as well.
Senator Schmitt, Ronald Reagan said that a country that does not basically have borders is not really a country at all. I'm paraphrasing. How are we a superpower when we say, no, we're not going to allow this travesty to continue at the border? There's no exceptions. We're shutting down these border crossings until we can get a handle on the 10 million people plus that are already here.
Yeah, and we ought to demand.
How is that a superpower?
Right. Listen, if you can't control your own border, you're not a country, right? And Joe Biden has every tool to do that right now. We ought to demand that. But look, this is what happens. This win today on this vote in the Senate is what happens when conservatives, we have the courage to stand up and fight. That's what the American people are responding to. That's what they want us to do. And we ought to do this. And by the way, pivoting now, and not having a secure border and then pivoting immediately to sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine for their border is total insanity.
But that's where the juice is. That's where the real passion is for Mitch McConnell.
In Washington, Ukraine. But that's not where the people are at.
No. Senator, Congressman, great to see both of you. Thank you.